Hi everybody, in this video we're going to look at how to insert a table into your LYNX presentations. So there's a couple of ways we can have tables within LYNX. First of all, we're going to look at the easiest way. If we go to the insert button, there's an actual table option here. Now I want to make an activity where children can sort these 6 shapes. So when I click on table, it brings up this option here where I'm deciding how big my table is going to be. How many cells do I want it to have? So in this case, I want it to have the 6 shapes with a name box and a box for the shape, and of course I need a title box, the 7th one there, and let's insert it. When it first comes onto the page, it will pick a size for itself, but I can enlarge that as I want using the corner piece there. I can also mess around with the width of the rows and the columns and so on using the buttons there as well. So I kind of feel as if I want the rows to be as wide as possible, but actually I don't need the title to be that wide. So what I can do is I can click on this kind of green door here, and it opens up the ability to mess about with the width of the tool. So whether or not I'm messing with the kind of width of the columns and so on, or here if I want to move this down so I can make it a little bit thinner for the titles, and then I'll have more space for my shapes. When I'm finished messing around with that, I just click on there again and it's locked back into position. So let's have another go at resizing that. There we are, and I'll just put it centrally. Now I can click inside any of these, so I can put down name there, and then in the next row if I double click I can put down shape. So all I have to do now is make sure that I click inside each of these so that I'm writing the names of the shapes as we see them on there. Maybe I just want to jumble it up a little bit, or it'll be a bit too easy. And we have the triangle, and last of all we have the star. Now when it comes to putting the items into the table, as you pick them up, even if they're a little bit too big, they will go into the table. But notice how at the moment it's going behind the table, and that's because my shapes are on the page before the table, and the table kind of takes the default of being at the top because it's the last thing I added. When I let go, look, I cannot see that rhombus. It's locked into the table. I can change that though, because of course from my arrange and transform buttons down here I can put the table to the back of the page. Now as I move that around, you'll notice the rhombus is quite large. It's filling that space, but basically what I'm doing is locking these into the cell. You see the cell indent a little bit and I lock it in. Even if it's too big, it's now locked in there. Now anything that's locked in there can be changed. I can click again and I can mess around with that and reposition it in the cell should I want to make this activity a little bit neater when children do it. Or of course I can reposition these items before I even put them in. Anything locked into the cells of the table can be taken out. I just have to click again and I can pull that back out. And of course we can edit the text, and I can even pull the text out that was originally in there as a text box. So nice and easy that you can do things like that. And of course if I want to make this an activity that students can play with when we're in presentation mode, from the 3 dots here I can just make these shapes editable. So now when we are presenting this lesson we can pull these items out. Notice at the moment though, because I haven't made the table editable, these items are just sitting on top of the areas where we put them into. Now the other way that you can very quickly create a table is to add a shape and make it a rectangle, drag it onto the page, and then if we go to our editing tools here in the paint can, in the crop tools we have shape split. Click inside and hold, and if I go down I get rows, and across I get columns, and when I let go there's my table. These are actually separate pieces that I can move around. If I don't want that to happen, I can drag my cursor across all of these and join them up, and now I can click in there and start making notes and turn it into whatever kind of table I want it to be. So 2 ways that you can have a table in LYNX Whiteboard. See which way you prefer. Thanks for watching.